Hello there, so I'm back again for part 2 of my Q&A. There were so many fantastic questions and I could only get through so many of them in the first video, so I'm going to try and get through as many as I can in this video. There's quite a few that were kind of repeat questions, so if you did ask me a question and you're wondering why I've not answered it, it's probably because I've either answered it in the first Q&A or it was maybe just like a very similar question to one that I've already answered. So like, I really appreciate everybody taking the time to ask me a question, like just spend some time, you know, leaving me a question. So I don't want anyone to think that I've just ignored their question, because like I've not. I just don't want to bore you all if I'm by repeating the same things again and again. Okay, so Loving This Simplicity asks, what is your idea of a perfect date night with honeys? So like, I don't think me and honeys have really ever been on like what you'd call a date, because we had a baby quite soon after we kind of got together. For me and honeys, like, or for me anyway, I don't know if honeys would necessarily agree, but for me, like, because both of us, like, we don't drink, so we're not like party people. I used to be a party people, but I'm not a party people anymore. We don't really drink, so we don't really have any interest in like going out and getting like wasted or anything, and also like that's not really conducive with like having young kids. So for us, really, like, we love a bit of Netflix. We love having a good film to sit down and watch. But the problem is, a lot of the time, because in the evenings when the boys are asleep, that's when I edit my videos and he goes and plays darts with his friends. So we try like once a week to sit down and watch a film together. And for me anyway, like, I can't speak for honeys, but for me that's perfect, because I'm a real homebody. I just like lazing around the house in my comfy clothes that are maybe covered in stains, but I'm just so comfy in them. If I never went out to another nightclub again, I would not be bothered at all. So yeah, for me it would just be like me and honeys comfortable downstairs on the sofa with some snacks, chilling out with my legs over his knees, just watching like a horror film. We love horror films and we love thrillers, so that would be my thing. Okay, so Pank to Isa asks, do you hate the Isabel Queen of England, because she lives off taxes of all England's? Firstly, like, I love the question. It's a fantastic question. I'm not quite sure who Queen Isabel is, but I don't want to like take the piss out of the question, because I understand what you're trying to say. Like, I feel like I'm being really offensive now about the question, but I know you're trying to say, am I supportive of the royal family? Not really. Like, to me, I think they're so outdated. I don't think they're relevant. I'm never interested in anything they've got to say. I think they spend way too much of the taxpayers' money on weddings. So no, I'm not a huge fan. But then on the flip side, I also acknowledge that they do bring a lot of tourism to the UK. So as much as like taxpayers' money is used a lot to keep them going in crowns, in diamonds, in weddings, I do at the same time appreciate the fact that they're like a historical part of England. Like, what? I don't know. I feel like probably a lot of people here in England think the same way. You know, we don't really pay much attention to the royal family. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I just get that. That's like the general thing. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Okay, so Storm Celeste. Hey, so Storm Celeste. Always see you liking my pictures, so thank you so much. She asks, if you could have one dream family holiday, where would it be and why? So for me, like, I'm torn between 3 different places. LA, because I have a real soft spot in my heart for LA. I absolutely love LA, and I can't wait for the day when I can like take honeys over there and the boys, and I'll just be like the tour guide, like, oh my gosh, so this is Griffith Park, this is Santa Monica Pier, this is where I used to get a Jamba Juice every single morning. I feel like that's going to be a bit later down the line. So I also really want to go to Japan. I feel like Japan as a country will be like completely different to anywhere that I've ever been to ever. So I feel like that would be really, really fun family trip. But again, probably one for when the boys were just a bit older, to be able to like really take it all in and appreciate it. With the age that the boys are right now, probably like the perfect family holiday for us would be like what we're actually doing in a couple of weeks. We're going to go to Kos in Greece, and we've got like an all-inclusive hotel, and it's a really kind of, well, it's supposedly meant to be like a real kind of family orientated kind of place. We've got like 5 pools, we've got the beach, and I feel like when you've got young kids, really you just want to focus on a holiday that would A, be easy for the parents, but B, obviously you want the kids to have a really, really good time. I feel like at the moment it probably would not be worth trying to do anything too extravagant or go long haul. So for us, like just a beach holiday to Greece, I say just, I mean, I'm really, really grateful that we're able to go to Greece. Like Greece is a beautiful place, and I'm so thankful that we can afford to take the boys there. I feel like that's the kind of holiday that young kids would really, really enjoy. So yeah, I'd say like a beach holiday to Greece right now, and in the future it will change. Soup Snakes 18 asks, are you a Game of Thrones fan? No. Claire Bear 2008 asks, what's your favourite big makeup, or who's your favourite big makeup guru? What's your favourite makeup videos, tutorials or reviews? So I used to really enjoy review videos. I used to love just find out about makeup, watching Tati, watching Nat Taylor's foundation, first impressions. I used to love Shanexo as well, and Chloe Morello. I used to really enjoy like reviews, but lately I've actually been really enjoying watching tutorials for a bit of inspiration. And I really like, there's a channel by a lady called Anne Cook, and she does the most stunning eye looks. And whenever I see her video pop up, I just feel inspired immediately. I think that Casey Rayton just does her makeup so perfectly. Also, Tiana Cosmetics, her makeup just always looks flawless, and she makes it look so easy. I think Bretman Rock is hilarious. But do you know what, like lately I've been rather fed up with the whole of the beauty community, and I know that I'm not the only one. It's got to a point where I feel like the drama channels are kind of in a way infecting everything. Like, I love a bit of drama, I love it, but it's got to such a point now that it's making me feel quite bored of the makeup community. I'm getting fed up of the same drama happening with the same people, and I'm getting fed up with the drama channels promoting the drama and just making the whole problems like 10 times worse. I always tend to watch YouTube when I am going to bed at night time, when I'm relaxing, and I used to watch makeup videos, but the last couple of months I've not been watching makeup videos. I've been watching like just entertaining videos, comedy videos, TED Talks. I don't come to YouTube for negativity, and I just feel like a lot of what's going on at the moment in the makeup community is very, very negative, and I can't help but feel like it's been compounded by these drama channels. And I'm not in any way making any excuses for the big beauty gurus who have made mistakes, and they should apologise for their mistakes, but I feel like the drama channels are like mixing the pot up, and it's just become an awful place. And I feel like the turning point when it really became an awful place was when all these drama channels started like popping up out of nowhere, and they all create the same video. Like they're just carbon copies of each other. They repeat the same thing, other people repeat, and all it's doing is just spreading the negativity everywhere, and it's just like a perpetual thing, and it really just does my head in. Like, I'm finding it to be like not a nice space at the moment. In all honesty, like I am not a fan of the big makeup channels. I can't watch them, and it's nothing personal against them. I just find that it's quite like they're quite clinical in how they make their videos, like in the sense that I feel like a lot of them are doing it for the sake of doing it, because that's what they do. and it's not necessarily what they enjoy doing. And sometimes I'm watching someone thinking, where is the passion? Where is the excitement? Like, I just feel like they're just going through the motions. So I tend to much prefer smaller YouTube channels. Liv loves her makeup. I think she's brilliant. She gets straight to the point, the complete opposite of me. She's really like just tells it how it is. And I really respect that, because I think that's what we need more of, you know, in the beauty community. But anyway, I went on far too long with this question. Sorry about that, guys. Pained and Stained asks, what advice would you give fetus Anwen? Do you know what? Like, I read this question when it was first posted, and I was kind of thinking about it, and it stuck in my mind, and I was really, really thinking about it and thinking, what would, like, I tell my younger self? And after really, really giving it some thought, I just came to the conclusion that actually I probably wouldn't say anything, because I think you have to live through things to come to a conclusion. And I feel like a lot of the time in life, it's not about the lesson that you learn from something, it's about the journey. And I feel like a right twat saying that. But we have to make mistakes in life. We have to go through issues to come out the other end and be a stronger, like, more dimensional person. So to answer the question without going into like a massive monologue about mistakes, I wouldn't want to intervene, and I wouldn't want to say anything, because I think you've got to just let life take its course. If I hadn't made some of the mistakes or some of the decisions that I've made, would I be here where I am today? And to be honest, like, I'm quite happy where I am today. Maybe if I went back in time and told a younger me not to do something or to do something, it would have changed my course forever. And who knows, I could be like living in a ditch right now with a pair of biscuit boxes for shoes. Lou131713 asks, how long have you been a vegetarian? Do you feel not eating meat has had a positive effect on your body and mind? Well, like, I've been a vegetarian since like I was about, like, I think all my life, because my mum and dad were both vegetarians, and then they split up when I was 2, and then my dad became vegan, so then we all became vegans as well, and I was vegan for about 7 years, and then we relaxed a bit on it, and these days I am a vegetarian. I've tried to be vegan, and I would really like to be vegan, but I love cheese too much. Like, I'm not bothered about milk. I can have soy milk, I can have almond milk just fine, but it's cheese. Like, cheese. It's just cheese. I'm not interested to ever eat any meat. And a lot of people, like, I can't really answer the second question, because I've always really been vegetarian, so I wouldn't ever know the, like, any different. I remember when I was younger, and I used to go to like friends' birthday parties, and they'd have like all the sandwiches out, and they had like, you know, chicken slice sandwiches, and I used to always want to try a chicken slice sandwich. But I always used to think that if I picked one up, like, alarms would go off, and like my mum would come running in like, what are you doing? So I always had it like deep within my soul that I just didn't eat meat. It was just like one of those things that I just grew up thinking, Anwen, you can never touch meat. But do you know what? I'm so happy and thankful that I had that upbringing, because I mean, I don't know, it's interesting. Like, if I was a brought up vegetarian, would I eat meat, or would I have taken a conscious decision to not eat meat? I'm really happy to be vegetarian. And also, a lot of people do ask me as well, is it an ethical decision, or is it more of like a health related decision? But for me, like, obviously I was vegetarian because my parents were vegetarian, but as I've got older, the reason why I've stayed vegetarian is because to me that's normal. Like, I've never had meat, and I'm not interested in meat. Also, when I was younger, we did used to do like protests for Greenpeace, and my dad was a real big like supporter of you know, Greenpeace, and he would always, you know, fight against animal testing and everything. So it was deeply ingrained in me that the meat industry was cruel, or could be cruel. And I just feel like yeah, it's something that is just, it's not in me to eat meat, I don't think. And I don't in any way judge anyone that eats meat, that's fine. But for me, I won't ever eat meat. I was going to say something rude then, but I'm not going to take the tone down of my Q&A part 2. Sombra Blanca asks, how did you raise your children in such a good way? Oh, thank you. They have amazing manners and they're really great with each other. I'm willing to raise mine the same once I have them. So, I feel like I'm really lucky because I have 2 amazing boys. Like every day I'm so thankful and I feel so grateful every single day. I'm not very strict as a mum. Like I feel like Honeys is the disciplinarian. Like he's the one that when his voice booms out, the boys stop whatever they're doing. I'm just very, very aware of how important a good childhood is. And I'm always wanting to give my boys confidence. I want them to know that they can do anything. Like whenever Andrea says, oh, I can't do that, Mummy, I'm always like, yes, you can. You can do anything you want. You do not say the word can't. You can do anything you want. I'm always like that. Every single night I ask Andreas, have I told you how much I love you today? And we go through this thing of, I love you this much, I love you this much, I love you this, I love you to the furthest galaxy and beyond. Like every single night. I just feel like I want the boys to know how much they are loved. I'm going to cry because it's so emotional for me, but I just want them to know that they are great. They are capable of anything. They can do anything. I just want them to know that the world is their oyster. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, that's the thing with the boys. I just give them lots of love, lots of compliments. I just want to build them up. And also, I'm always telling them not to look in ladies' handbags because, I mean, I'm trying to, teach them to be very respectful boys as well. So anyway, I just love them so much and I don't know what I did to deserve 2 such amazing boys. I don't know what I did. I just don't know. Okay, again, Sombra Blanca also asks, what do you do in order to keep your relationship healthy with Honeys? So I feel like with Honeys and me, and I feel like probably most parents can agree with this, or even if you're not parents, but you're just in, you're both working and have busy lives. I feel like we are like ships that cross in the night. Didn't really get to have much time as just a couple because I think I got pregnant maybe like 5 months into us being together. So there really wasn't much time for us prior to having a baby. And I do feel like a lot of the time we tag team. Like I'll be coming up to do a video and Honeys will be downstairs playing football in the garden with the boys, or Honeys will be having a lie-in and I'll be downstairs, with the boys getting them ready for the day. A lot of the time, I think the reason, like, what was the question again? Sorry, I've like completely forgot the question. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like me and Honeys, we have a great relationship, but I do feel like it's that thing when you have kids, the kids come first, and a lot of the time, you do feel like you are just a tag team with your partner. And as well, because I'm so invested in my YouTube channel. So when the boys are in bed, I'm editing my videos. Whereas, we could probably be spending time together. So I am going to try and be like, okay, I'm not going to edit tonight. Let's hang out together. But we don't have a perfect relationship. And no one does. We should probably do more. We don't really spend any alone time together. I don't feel in any way like I can really give a good answer to this question because actually we probably could do a lot more. We're really happy. We don't argue. We get on really well. And we're equal partners. But I do feel like we could probably do more just together. But then again, we just love spending time with the boys. So I don't feel like it's that thing. If we went out for a meal together, I feel like I would just miss the boys. I'm one of those mums that I just love being around my boys. And I love being around Honeys. And I just love nothing more than when we're all together, that's just like my perfect situation. And it's most like me and Honey's just go out. We would only end up talking about the boys anyway, so we might as well just have the boys there. You know what I mean? Stacey Lee asks, how do you cope with 3 men in the house? Well, do you know what? I really like it. I feel like I'm not the girliest of girls, and I kind of like a bit of rough and tumble. Ask me again probably when they're teenagers, because everyone keeps warning me about this, like, oh, wait till they're teenagers and then you'll walk into the bedroom and it will stink and there'll be underpants everywhere and you'll just be like, oh my gosh. So yeah, but for now, like, I just love it. I like being the only lady in the house, Princess Anwen. I just love it. Do you know what I mean? It's great. I would not change it for the world. Honey's is actually really, really good with like cleaning and stuff. He's always washing up. He's probably better than I am, to be honest, at washing up. I just leave the kitchen looking like a bomb has hit it, and Honey just swoops in and just cleans everything up. So I'm very lucky that Honey's takes initiative and cleans up after me and the boys. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is the last question for today. Plant Lady 91 asks, when did you realise that you were an atheist and why don't you believe in God? I am an atheist myself and I'm always curious about other non-believers' stories. So, like, I feel like I've always been an atheist. I was raised, like, I say raised in the loosest possible sense of the word, but my mum was into like the Quaker religion. I don't really know much about the Quaker religion, really, but I believe it's like a very like humanistic kind of religion. There's no God. It's just about like believing in other people and the good in people and community, you know, and helping each other out, which I really am a big supporter of. So yeah, so we were like Quakers, and we would go to like the Quaker meeting house, and there was lots of crafts there, and it was a really nice kind of friendly community. Neither of my parents are religious. I've always been very cynical about the idea of there being a God. I also love science. I love physics. I love learning about the you know, the world, the galaxy, the space. Oops. I'm kind of like dancing about this question, because I do feel like religion it's a very sensitive topic to discuss, and the last thing I would ever want to do is offend anyone. And I feel like it's really important for me to say that I respect everybody's religions, and I think it's wonderful that we live in a world where we believe different things, and everyone should be respected for whatever they believe in, up to a certain point, of course. But I would just rather believe in science and facts like than anything else. And I always think that there's loads of contradictions as well with religions. Like, there's far too many contradictions for me to believe it. I was raised to always treat people with respect, with kindness, to just be an honest person and just try and do the best that I can do, try and help people. And basically, like, I was told to behave well, because that's just what we do. We're all living on this planet together, trying to get through life, trying to cope with the struggles that life throws at us. And I just was always told, just be a good person, because that's how we should behave. Whereas I feel like, you know, like Anton was raised Catholic, and in his family, like, he was told, you know, the usual things in like Catholicism. In my opinion, I feel like when religion is involved, you're not kind of saying to children or saying to people, be a good person, because that's what you should do, because you're human and you should be really nice to other humans. I feel like in religion, it's kind of like, ooh, if you're not a good person, you're going to go straight to hell. And that's not how it should be. You should be a good person and a decent person, because, oh, I've just realised my neighbour's a postman. Oh my gosh, no way. A postman went past and I was like, oh my gosh, that's our neighbour. I did not know he was a postman. Anyway, sorry, side point. But yeah, I just feel like, just be a good person, be a decent person, because you're a human, not because you're scared of going to hell. I feel like in a way, like, it's kind of like saying to a child, if if you're good, I'll give you a sweet. But really, like, what you want to say is, and believe me, I've done it. I've said to the boys, do this for mummy and I'm going to give you a sweet. I've done it. Like, I'm not criticising anyone for doing it, but what I really should say is just be good. But anyway, I'm just going to end this because I could just go on and on and on and on and on about this forever. But I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say. And at the same time, I hope that nobody's offended, because that's the last thing I would ever want to do. Like, I'm not the kind of person that wants to offend anyone. So that's the end of this video. I still have questions left, so I will do another Q&A at some point just to wrap up the last of the questions. I hope that you found this interesting. I feel like the Q&As like must be so boring. Like, even as I'm making this, I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's just probably so bored with this. But I hope that it's been somewhat interesting, and thank you for watching, and thank you for asking me a question if you asked a question, and I will see you in the next video.